Welcome.
Uh, Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy Shimizu, and I'm here as a concerned citizen. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the occupied and unceded traditional territories of the Squamish, the Musqueam, and the Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, and I'm grateful to these nations for being able to live on their land, and I support Indigenous struggles for justice and the right to sovereignty. I call on City Council to reject the rezoning application for 105 Keefer Street, and as a member of the Japanese Canadian community, I stand in solidarity with the low-income Chinese seniors and the Chinese community who oppose this proposal. I also support and agree with the demands of the Chinatown Concern Group, the Chinatown Action Group, and the Youth Collaborative for Chinatown. I also stand here as one of the poor chumps who wasted hundreds and hundreds of personal volunteer hours over 2 years sitting on the Downtown Eastside Local Area Planning Committee. The resulting plan is a terrible plan for many reasons, but especially because it completely fails in its primary purpose to ensure that the plan, quote, improves the lives of those who currently live in the area, particularly low-income people, and those who are most vulnerable, which will benefit the city as a whole. In the 3 years since the plan was passed, the street homelessness numbers have increased, and the lives of the low-income people, including the Chinese seniors who face additional discrimination, are worse off now than they were before the plan. So clearly, just meeting the criteria of the Downtown Eastside Plan is not enough. And besides that, the building does not fully comply with the requirements of the HA1A rezoning guidelines. And I've come to speak out against the displacement of another community from its physical and historical home, because in 1942, my family and over 8,000 Japanese Canadians were forcibly removed from the Powell Street neighborhood during World War II and displaced from the downtown east side. And we cannot let this happen in Chinatown. As you've heard from so many others, Chinatown holds a special place in people's hearts, and its character and its uniqueness lie in the fact that the Chinese community built this place. And while they faced incredible racism and challenges over many decades, they not only persevered, but they thrived. And they have their histories and their memories and their living heritage embedded within this neighborhood. And that's what makes it special, that's what makes it vibrant, and that's what makes it Chinatown. These seniors and young Chinese Canadians are who you should be listening to, because city councillors of all people should know that in general, community building involving the rights of people, history, arts, and culture relies on a relatively small number of people who have the passion and commitment to do the right thing at the sacrifice of their own personal time and energy. That's why you always see the same people here before council, because we'd all rather be out in the sunshine, or today many of us were supposed to be at work. But who's willing to come down here to fight for the things that bring meaning to lives of all Vancouverites? To sit in these hallways night after night and now during the day too, bringing Chinese seniors to City Hall so that everyone has a chance to participate in Chinese cultural activities and knows the true history of the city? These people here calling on you to stop the development at 105, that's who. These are the people you come to when you want someone to organize your mahjong tournament. These are the people who care about more than themselves, or if their car got broken into on the lot on the site. They're willing to let the site be a parking lot until all levels of government come up with the money for 100% social housing at the shelter pension rate, because they care about the long-term vision, and they care about the reasons why someone might be breaking into their car. They care about the reasons someone has become a drug addict, and they care about Chinese seniors, and they care about low-income and marginalized people. We care about broader and long-term social issues. And we're not talking about the fact that you can buy Chinese groceries and products all over the lower mainland. This site is not just any site. It has historic significance for Chinese Canadians across the country, not just those living in Vancouver, and for all Canadians. We preserve our history and what's important about it so that we can celebrate past successes and don't repeat our terrible mistakes, and above all, to give us, in these current times, a strong sense of identity, direction, and pride. And I'm here fighting for something that will have true meaning in the lives of current and future generations of Chinese Canadians. And it will only do so if the Chinese community who lives here now is protected and allowed to remain and continue to feel connected to this neighborhood. Through the commitment you see by these young people working with and fighting alongside Chinese seniors to save Chinatown, to ensure that their history and practices are carried forward. If they do not remain, then Chinatown has no soul and no meaning. It's only a marketing slogan that you can sell to tourists and use to make money, or perhaps another way for the city to continue exploiting the histories and lives of immigrant communities. To cite the work of Jeff Masuda and Audrey Kobayashi, the fight is about the right to remain, the right to housing, the right to culture, the right to community, and the right to have these rights. You have the power to make the change that the community is demanding. Where there's political will, there's a way. With true vision and leadership, you can save Chinatown. So I say reject the proposal, find a way to make the site a community site, and put people before profits. Thank you.
All right.